Sam Heughan reveals Outlander's controversial ending. Will fans cry or smile? It was an October afternoon, and soft sunlight streamed through the glass doors of a conference room in Edinburgh. A long table sat in the middle of the room, 2 chairs facing each other, a simple microphone, and an old tape recorder, all of it creating the eerie atmosphere of a special press conference. I walked in and saw Sam Heughan, his red hair streaked with grey from time, sitting there, looking thoughtful but his eyes still shining. "Thank you for your time today," I said, placing the tape recorder in the middle of the table. Sam smiled slightly. "Thank you for inviting me. I thought we'd have a special talk," he replied. I pressed the record button and began. "First of all, Sam, how did it feel when you heard that Outlander was ending after its final season?" Sam bowed his head a little, sighing. "It's really bittersweet. I've been with Jamie Fraser for years. I've worn that red hair, worn that suit, walked in Jamie's shoes every day. The thought that this story will have an ending is both exciting and terrifying. I think over and over again, will the fans be satisfied? Will the ending be worthy of the journey we've been on together?" He pauses, as if to gather his emotions before continuing. "There were days when I cried, not because I was lonely, but because I felt like I was saying goodbye to a part of myself. I remember the final script reading. We were all sitting around the table, we listened to every line, we knew this could be the last time." On set, they even brought in a bagpipe player to set the mood, and the Skyboat song came on. I couldn't help myself. I started crying. I thought, this is a final goodbye to Jamie and Claire, to all the memories. TV Insider. But do you think fans will be satisfied with the ending? He looks off into the distance, as if looking into a vision where darkness has fallen. I think, in my heart, I hope so. But I also know that a lot of people will have mixed feelings. Some will feel it was a perfect ending. Some will feel regret. Some will even be disappointed. It's impossible for everyone to be happy. But I hope I did my best to make the ending feel right, true to the spirit of the characters, true to the relationship that Jamie and Claire have built over the years. I've said it's going to be very emotional, and I know you're going to love it, at least I believe so. TV Insider. +1. But who knows, when people look back, they might see layers of meaning, hurt, things left unsaid. In previous interviews, you've said that there were pickups, additional shots, for the finale. If you could do it again and again, what would you change? Sam frowns, then shakes his head. Actually, when we shot most of it, it was very much about staying true to the original feeling. But I remember there were a few scenes, little scenes, looks, glances, that I thought if I could do it again, I would have wanted to slow it down, to let the emotions settle in. There were a few moments where you look at Claire or Jamie after a crisis. I would have wanted to stay there for a longer beat so the audience could feel the silence. But that's a small thing in a big ending. And the fact is, maybe changing that little thing could have changed the whole feeling of the ending. So it was probably not a good idea to change it too much. I accepted the ending because it was the farewell that this story needed. He looked into the recorder as if looking into the eyes of his fans, the people waiting to hear him tell it. If I had my choice, I would probably change just one detail, to have Jamie look at Claire a little longer at the end, as a brief reminder to the audience that, in Jamie's heart, Claire will always exist, no matter how harsh the times. Recalling Jamie and Claire's love. To better understand why the ending carries so much pressure, Sam opens up when I ask about Jamie and Claire's love, the love that made the Outlander legend. When you think of Jamie and Claire, what makes you believe that they have a real love for each other, not just passion, but a connection that transcends time? Sam pauses, gently. Jamie and Claire's love, to me, is not some rosy romance. It's a shared pain, a burden, a loss. They've been through war, death, time apart, danger. They weren't always together, but whenever they could, they chose each other. That's what made it real. I remember a scene in season 5 where Jamie lay exhausted from his wounds, and Claire touched him, not simply a caress, but like a reconnection, like a breath of life. I've said that in that scene, there was a magical moment. Claire wasn't using drugs, she wasn't using explicit magic, but there was something transcendent between them. Glamour. That feeling is part of love. There are silences, sacrifices, feelings that words can't express. I think if you look closely, Jamie and Claire have saved each other many times, physically and emotionally. And the power of a love that, despite the loss, despite the distance, they still try to pull each other back. Is there a moment that you feel is the heart of Jamie and Claire's love, where you know it's eternal? Sam laughs. His eyes light up. There are a lot of harsh moments that I remember. In season 3, after Culloden, Jamie is almost dead. In his head, there's Claire, the last look he has before, maybe nothing. When Jamie leaves his body, for a moment, something pulls him back, Claire. I feel like it's not a response or a fantasy, it's love pulling people through the door. And in later seasons, I remember a lot of simple scenes, when Claire and Jamie talk in the night, when they look at each other for a moment, when they hold hands in the storm. Love isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's the little moments, baby, that are still powerful. But viewers have criticized the show for being greedy in its work changing the book, adding details that weren't in the original. Are you worried that the ending will disappoint fans of a book? Sam answered, looking dangerous. That's something I think about a lot. Because Outlander is more than just a show, it has a very loyal fan base, and Diana Gabaldon is the author. When you're so creative, you always resist the risk of offending someone. But I believe that if you keep the core spirit, keep the character true, you can change the details without losing the spirit. I know there are scenes that we've changed to fit the visual language, to fit the TV content, to fit the limited productions. But I hope that fans look at the ending, not at every little detail, but at the emotion, at the emotional thread that runs through it. Jamie dying for Claire, Claire standing strong for Jamie. If the ending can make people feel like, yeah, that's Jamie and Claire, then I think I've succeeded. He lights up, the light defines, and if fans look back in a few years, they might find a lot of hidden things, a lot of layers of meaning about love, about time, about death, and maybe they'll come to appreciate the connection more. Quote,